Hello, Entrepreneur Journey members, and today I have a very special guest. His name is Henry Gaskins, and Henry is a writer, speaker, life and fitness or health coach. Is
Health,
that correct?
health coach, yes.
Nice. So, will you tell I can't talk today. So, tell the members of Entrepreneur Journey a little bit about yourself.
Wow, first of all, thanks a lot. I'm glad to get the chance to be here. And the as one who has written, you might say I'm one of those individuals who's compelled to write or compelled to create, and that's kind of been part of me forever. And many times I'll just get an idea and I'll pop in my head, poetry, things like that. I have published. A novel. I published a book of poetry under pseudonyms which will remain nameless for now anyway. But also I froze up, which happens
Yes,
oftentimes due
it's
to the
okay.
right. But I'm back. You see, and I hate freezing up into weird positions. But but
It's
it's
technology.
yeah.
Sometimes.
Long story short, this aspect of my journey began, believe it or not, last year. I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. In fact, I've attempted a number of things over the years, and I've learned as I've gone along. But one of the things that has happened is I've always had an affinity to work with people and a need, as it whenever I see someone in some sort of pain, I want to reach out to that person. Doesn't always go over very well, but I decided to utilize that and become a health and life coach. I started a channel. I was diagnosed pre-diabetic, and whenever I deal with something like that, or whenever I come up against the circumstances, my first question is, how can I use this? How can I use this to turn it around for myself, but then also help others? You know, and in doing so, I started a little channel, Hankster OG. The OG stands for old guy, and and it's a name that will never go away. Only to get better with time.
There you
So
go.
I decided to use that, and and I successfully lowered my glucose and reversed my prediabetes and lost weight in the process. Interviewed a bunch of folk and continuing to do so as we go along. I also became a health and life coach and started my business um, about the same time. I have I have three clients right now, but I'm always looking for more. I've done a bunch of practice clients, as you can imagine how that works, and uh, and I love my clients because they're real people. Uh, Maybe like you, I don't know. I'm more of an introvert, so I am great with one-on-one, maybe small groups. The larger they get, the worse I feel. But when it comes to standing in front of a crowd, that's not a problem.
Wow. See, I have just to comment on kind of what you said so far. I am a little bit of introvert, and one of the reasons I started this podcast is to break through that. Right. Um, I still have a somewhat of a fear of speaking in front of, unlike you, who I think you just said you don't have a fear of speaking in front of a lot of people. Like you, the larger the crowd gets, the more anxiety I get, and I'm also going to work through that. So I love that. So and the other thing you said was um, you see someone in pain, right? And that's what it's all about. That's what we as entrepreneurs do for people is pull people from a place of struggle or pain into something better. I love that.
My company is Chrysalis Transformational Coaching, and you can find me at chrysalistransformationalcoaching.com. And right on my website, it says that my journey is one of both pain and joy. And I guess that's where that comes from because I know what it is to struggle. I know what it is to have individuals undermine your sense of self. And I know what it is to watch someone helplessly go down a path that from which there's no return. And at times like that, you need someone to be there with you. And I've always found individuals, they weren't necessarily coaches, but they were there as anchors for me. So I wanted to reach out and also expand that into a business where I can both help individuals and maintain myself as well.
And we've talked a little bit before, and I know we're going a little bit off script, so I apologize. I believe you're a man of faith, as I am, and God puts those people in your path to kind of help you on your journey. And that just what made me think of that, because I've had plenty of people that God has put in my path that has helped me on my journey. So that really resonated with me. I do have a couple questions that are not like really business related, just kind of getting to know you a little bit better.
Yeah, sure.
So what is your favorite thing to do on vacation?
Man, on vacation. Well, I'm probably the most boring guest you're gonna have. Okay. Um, for me, going on vacation, if I'm not going to my mother's country, which I hope to go to, depending upon how this COVID thing ends at the end of the year, um, for me then it's going to the mountains or the beach. But the mountains are better for me because I can sit back, I can be in nature, but I can tune into my creative side. I can start playing some music. I can write a little bit. I'll read. You know, that's where these days I'm so busy. I don't have the time to do what my secular reading. I always make time for my spiritual reading, which is my Bible, my Christian literature. I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses. I think I mentioned that to you before. And so, I'm always looking to work on that aspect of myself. So, but when it comes to just my secular reading of the books that I want to really just kind of sit down and either delve into or just escape, I don't have that time. So that's where my vacation time comes in. We often, my wife and I, and I've been married for about 30 years. We've we go to the beach house with the family, and that's when they're off doing their thing, and me, I find a slew of books that's going to last me the week, and that's what I'll do. But that's other than that, I my vacation times are just basically that, and maybe some exploration. Out in the Caribbean, it's a little island called Nevis, and going through that rainforest, spending time there, visiting families, distant relatives, seeing the connections. That's also a good portion of my thing. Culture and multiculturalism is a tremendous part of my psyche. So those are things to make a long story even longer.
I love it. And you had mentioned there at the end, culture. Like a lot of when my family goes on vacation, we like to go to where the locals go. We don't like to go where all the tourists go, because
Right.
you're really getting into the culture if you go to where all the other tourists are.
Yes.
So yeah, that, and the whole reading on vacation, that is like one of my favorite things to do, is just kind of take in the tranquility around you. Like if you're on the beach, the waves crash, and to just read. So we're very alike in that aspect. So that is awesome. So another question, where are you originally from, and where are you located now?
Oh boy. Well, contrary to popular belief, I am American. Well, born in Brooklyn, raised in Queens, New York City.
Okay.
I reside in the city of Oaks, which is Raleigh, North Carolina,
Oh, nice.
and it's rated as one of the nicest places in the country to live, and it's growing very fast, very rapid. But it still has it has the cosmopolitan aspect that I love, because it's from everywhere. And on the other hand, it's not as fast. Although for some reason Raleigh seems to have more car accidents daily than I've ever seen in New York. And I
Wow.
grew up there, you know. So,
Wow.
but and they drive a lot fast. Well, I don't know. They seem to drive a lot faster, but down here, I mean, they're just flying. It's speed limit 70 miles an hour. People are literally going like 112. And
Yep.
but that's where I am now, and that's where I was.
Nice. I have never been to New York. My stepdaughter really wants to visit there a lot, and one of the things that I have on my bucket list is to see a play on Broadway because I think that would be amazing.
We
So,
used to see that all the time. There's a play that turned into a god awful movie called The Wiz,
mm,
and we saw the original on Broadway. It was amazing. My
wow.
first there was Coming Uptown. That's so long ago. In fact, I even saw The King and I with Yul Brenner,
Mm.
and, you know, and I think that's where I was trying to get this haircut when I saw him. And, but
We're like there too.
yeah, New York is a fantastic place now um, to visit. My my brother still lives there, and there are so many different changes, especially even to the old neighborhood where I grew up. You know, and so, but like you said, when you say the locals, you're going to a wonderful. I mean, you've got to visit those areas where the food is down home and right, where
Hmm.
you know where the languages are different, and that's the thing. In my area, in my town, there, you know, everyone spoke English, but everyone also spoke Creole, French, Spanish, you
Hmm.
know, some Chinese, and you go further down, you're speaking Pakistani, Hindi, Bangla, all sorts of languages. So it was a great place to be immersed in culture without having to travel too far.
Wow, yeah, that's the other reason I'd like to visit New York because it's such a melting pot.
Mm.
And speaking of food, that's going to be my next question. But I don't think there's probably a better place in the United States to explore different types of food than New York City. So, with that in mind, what would you say your favorite food is?
Good Lord, my favorite foods. Um, my saying, and it seems that this is going out to the general public. Remember this saying. I've already trademarked the patent. If it's dead and well bled, I'll eat
There we go. Nice,
it.
nice.
Yeah, because you just can't, you just can't. After a while, you just get into stuff. You can't pick one because there's so many different cultures and so many different influences. You know, I've got into gotten into poke as of late in the past year.
Mm,
I've been eating a lot of poke down here, and um, I love shawarma, which is a Mediterranean grilled meat dish, but it's very healthy with the place that I go, and they serve it with something called mujadara, which is a rice and lentil dish. So there you go, two extremes. One is Middle Eastern, and the other one is Hawaiian. You see what I'm saying? You know, the Vietnamese,
nice.
all sorts of stuff. So no real one favorite.
And I know you kind of filled us in a little bit on your entrepreneur journey, but I have some questions around that as well. So, can you talk about specifically like some of the things that you do to help people?
Okay, well, I do a number of things. I help people lose weight, lower their glucose, okay, build energy, build muscle, and find their path as far as a life coach is concerned. Um, Finding one's path means helping them develop and build upon their confidence, sorting out who they are, where they want to be, and understanding where they are, but more importantly, who they really are. Take the time to become conscious of oneself, and then be able to plot their course going forward. You know,
Nice,
yeah.
nice. So, you said you've recently, yeah, I mean, it's been about a year or so since you started your entrepreneur journey. What kind of goals do you see moving forward?
Okay. Well, my goals are modest at best, I would say. You know, my goal is to really move into this on a full time level where I'm dealing with clients 3 days out of the week, but roughly it could be about 6 to 9 clients, um, and to have that moving in that direction by the end of the year. I have. Oh, by the way, I'll tell you this. I don't know. I think you might have seen it because I think I sent the message out to you that August the 2nd, I have a free seminar online discussing ridding oneself of glucose. And the end game in that, if you will, is to invite individuals to a 14-day cleanse session. So this will be a group thing. The open enrollment will start on September 1st. So people that want to lower their glucose and get rid of sugar, people that want to get themselves detox, that will be in full swing starting September 1st. But the kickoff will be that talk. I'm going to have a medical doctor who is also a health and life coach doing with me. Uh, and her name is Dr. Adrian Charles. In fact, if you go to my little channel, Hankster OG channel, you'll see her as one of my guests on there. Okay, and also it's too late to get him now, but also on that channel, Dr. Joel Furman, who has a retreat that helps individuals not just lose weight, but reverse illnesses, even including lupus and others. He's on my channel as well. But yeah,
Nice.
on my so at the by the end of this year, I want to have everything set so that I can go full time, and that would be the goal. Then it would be wonderful to work with and help as many people as I can.
That is awesome. I love what you're doing for people because when you're struggling with health, it limits you in so many ways to doing a lot of things that you have potential to do. So what a great thing that you're doing. My wife was a type 1 diabetic, and she's recently had a transplant. So she is no longer diabetic. So we are praising God for that.
That's great. That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Um, so just a couple more questions. Do you find you talked about finding your path, right? Because you had struggled, you were had problems with your glucose, correct? So finding your path and purpose, how does that help you inspire others?
Um, the word is empathy.
Mm,
You know, um, my struggles have been, that's just the latest in a number of them. You know, I worked with, I started out in the healthcare field years ago and wound up dealing with an entirely unexpected and unintended healthcare crisis in my own home. And growing up in a household where where the illness was mental as opposed to physical on the one hand, but then another parent who had clear physical illnesses that they did nothing to change. And those two things shaped me in a way that compels me to see when I see individuals that I can try to help to do that because there's so much information out there and there's so many things that people can do to to either mitigate an illness or even reverse it. It doesn't have to be just a management to the grave like the conventional run-of-the-mill doctors have people on now.
mhm.
And I've learned also that with many mental illnesses, again, the medications that they give you just give you side effects, and they're not really side effects; they are effects in addition to the one that they want you to have. You see, but there are things that can be done that maybe it won't cure you completely. Nothing's going to cure you, but absolutely, but God's kingdom. But in the meantime, if there are things that I can help a person work through, that's what I want to do, and that's what I've been doing. One of my clients, he keeps texting me because I have him on. Part of the thing I do is I do daily nudges with my clients. So it's not just okay, we meet once a week and I'll see you next week. No, I'm kind of giving them daily touches so that they know that number one, someone believes in them, someone can keep them motivated. If they have questions, they can reach out. I'm at their disposal in that capacity. Sometimes they have a moment of crisis, you see. So, you're there for them. So these are things that kind of motivate me.
Nice. Another question: what piece of advice would you give someone that is struggling? You said kind of finding their path. I've had the question is finding their calling. So, what advice would you give someone that has that question?
Well, the first thing you want to do, okay, is to take some time for yourself, to yourself, and think deeply about who you are. Now, what I mean by that is this. Sometimes, especially folks of a certain age, maybe they didn't get a chance to go through higher education. But I just saw an article that in one of the papers online that said that they were discovering that a master's degree is a racket. So maybe in many cases, life has been your university. The leading CEO of Pepsi, Frito-Lay's, never went to high school. Never went through high school, and he was teaching at a university. And one day they said to him, "Well, one kid being smart, most of my professors have a PhD. Do you have one?" He goes, "Yeah, I got a PhD. Poor, hungry, and determined." You see?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the idea is this. Everyone has talent and abilities that they've acquired along the way. And you may not realize it until you sit back and think about who you are. So that's where you start, with understanding who you are, what have you become so far. You may be trying to break out of being a drug dealer for all I know. Hey, that means you have already started your path to entrepreneurship. You have to reframe your talents and abilities into something that's honorable and legitimate. You may just be somebody who has a habit of drawing. Is that something that you can take and now make it into something that can give you income? You see, as well as fulfillment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There are a number of different things I see. I've seen it with young ones and older ones. It all comes down to number one, who have you become up to this point? Then it's what do you wish to do? And my goal is to be there to help you along the way. I don't tell you what to do. I believe that it's all in you. The goal now is to help you to see yourself in your mirror.
Yeah, and if I could just add to that, it is not impossible. No matter what situation you find yourself in now, it is not impossible to become something better. Just kind of, I had a phone call. It's just kind of ironic that you mentioned this because I had a phone call with someone this morning who grew up in crime, and he to make a long story short, God got a hold of him, and after that point, his whole life he is now very wealthy, and no longer in that life of crime that he was once in as a youth. So, and at the time when he was in a life of crime, he was making good money, but it wasn't where he should have been.
Right.
and God pulled him out of that. So it was just interesting that you had mentioned that, because that made me think of that gentleman I talked to this morning.
Yeah, there's so many different individuals. I don't know if I'm sure you've heard of the writer Robert Greene. He actually wrote a book on the experiences of the rapper 50 Cent. And the reason why is because this is a man that came from that and went and built a totally different life for himself. I'm not promoting that lifestyle, but what I am saying is understanding that anyone that wants to, and that's the thing, you know, the first thing in anything is the will. The thing that separates us, the thing that causes us, that has us reflect the image of God, is our ability to love and our ability to act. And if we combine those two for the sake of the good, then we can accomplish a wonderful, wonderful purpose and benefit everyone. That's been my goal for all this time. And it's kind of funny because I said I'm integrated. I you know, in my secular work right now, I come in, I do my work, I get it done, I'm focused, everything's done. But now get me with some folk, get me with someone like yourself. And here I am, and here I can be. You see, so everyone has that certain aspect where their abilities kind of come forth. And my goal again, I'm sure even yours, is to help individuals reach that, dig down within themselves.
One of the other things that makes me think about this is, like, a lot of people are put in a box, right? And they think they got to stay there. That's their box.
Right.
You break out of that box. That's
That's
whatever people are trying to put you in that box, don't listen. You don't have to stay in that box.
That's the reason why I named my company Chrysalis Transformational Coaching, because the chrysalis is the state that the larva, the caterpillar, goes into. The caterpillar spins that cocoon, and that cocoon forms into that chrysalis where metamorphosis takes place. But now, here's the kicker. It has to break through the chrysalis. It has to come through and emerge. And that struggle, and see, that's where the mindset has to come through. That's where we work with the mindset, because that struggle allows them to grow. Even we can even say that the common egg is a chrysalis, a bird's egg is a chrysalis, because it has to use that beak to break it from the inside out. The same thing, the butterfly has to use its body to break forth from the inside out. And the human being who wants to see the change has to break through from that inside of that shell where they've been cast, break forth. And it's a struggle. But once they get through that, again, they can feel themselves begin to fill. They can feel themselves begin to form, and they can feel their wings spread out, so they can catch the wind, as it were.
That is awesome. I love that. So Hank, before we let you go, let everyone know how they can reach out to you, and tell us about that thing you have coming up in August again.
Okay, so there are a few things, folks. If you'd like, I'd love for you to visit my channel. Because of I'm focusing on the business, I'm not posting as much, but you'll see some interesting people there that have come through a lot, and you'll get some useful information. that said, and the name of that YouTube channel is Hankster OG. Okay, that's Hankster, HANKSTER O G. Period. And you can catch me there. Please like, subscribe. For some reason, I fail to say that on my shows all the time. But please like and subscribe. But leave a comment. Let me know what you think about each of them, and let me know what you would like to see in the future. Also, my website is chrysalis coaching, chrysalistransformationalcoaching.com. That's my website. Now, you can reach out to me personally, chrysalis.coaching.service@gmail.com. That's where you can reach me. You can also call me. My phone number is 434-218-4198. And just if you can call me or text me, and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. Yeah, please make sure that I know that it's not that it's not the South Asian branch of the IRS trying to tell me that I'm going to jail. Please don't do that. You know, please don't. But please let me know. Hey, I'd like to talk with you about some goals or what have you. Any challenges you're facing, and if I cannot assist you, I have people that can. Also, coming up August 2nd, I'm doing a seminar. It's a free seminar. It's just an hour. It's going to be on Zoom, so you need to text me or contact me directly for the invite. Or if you look on or just like I sent it out to Doug, I've sent out the Zoom information, the ID, and everything else. You might want to post that on your site if you'd like to. And that's because it's by invite only. So you're invited if you go that route. All
Nice.
of you are. Okay.
So I was gonna say I'll post that YouTube link, the link to your channel below, and I'll post that Zoom link if you'd like me to below this video. So
great. And I'm gonna give you my official website address as well. And finally, let me just give you a quick rundown of what I'm offering. Okay, so I'm going to have an open enrollment for the 14-day cleanse. Okay, so that's what we'll do. That's what we'll start on. That's a group session. If you go through this channel, all right, if you go through this channel and you mention Doug Greathouse, okay, in fact, turn that around. Okay, turn that around. You say do it that way. I'll give you a discount, and you'll have you in there for that 2-week, 14-day cleanse. I also have a 90-day transformational program. Okay, both health and life. I also have larger pro packages that involve more intense and more long duration, 6 months, etc. Okay. And coming up, we're going to be doing our first transformational travel coaching package, where for 1 week, as a group, and this is for a certain group of people, okay, for 1 week, we will go to Nevis, St. Kitts Nevis, and you'll experience the spas, you'll experience massage, you'll experience the coaching, you'll experience a number of things, meditation. All of that will happen there for that wonderful week, and you'll also get coaching with me and some of my associates as well. So that's coming up. But right now, please, I'd love to hear from you. Look forward to it. And hey, even if you just want to say, I enjoyed you talking with Doug Greathouse, or maybe I should change the color of my shirt, whichever one you like.
I like purple. Well, I want to say thank you again, Hank, for being here, and thank you for delivering value to the group and letting us hear a little bit about your entrepreneur journey.
Thank you. And hey, like I always say, don't just climb your mountain, crush through it. See you next time.
All right.